why does USCIS call people back for a second asylum interview or follow-up asylum interview? Look, there can be many reasons for this. Sometimes it's not a problem. Sometimes it's not a bad sign for you. It doesn't mean you're going to lose. Sometimes the officer just forgets to ask you a question that they needed to ask you, or they didn't ask you something that their supervisor thinks they should have asked you, so they have to call you back and do that. Sometimes it's short. Sometimes the second interview takes 10 minutes. But it's true that sometimes it is something more substantive and possibly problematic, like maybe they've just more recently discovered information that is negative they need to ask you about. I think that maybe you're a security risk, or they connect some dots in reviewing your file and they think that you're lying. And so they want to ask you questions about that. It's hard to predict, if you get the call that says, hey, you need to come back for a second interview, it's hard to predict why. They don't tell you why when they tell you that you need to come back in. So you just got to go into it prepared for anything. You got to be prepared for it to possibly be short and easy, but also for it to possibly be long and rigorous and maybe difficult and possibly with hostile questions. Okay?